Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A warm welcome and thank you to everyone for attending the ITAP Voice of the Market Indonesia Digital Roadshow. My name is Perel and I will be your host for today. The Voices of the Market Regional Roadshow is co-organized by the Agency of Industrial Human Resource Development, Ministry of Industry, or Badan Pengembangan Sumber Daya Manusia Industri, atau BPSDMI, Kementerian Perindustrian, and Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific, or ITAP. This event is in conjunction with the Kick-Off Digital Transformation Program 2022, PD 4.0's role in accelerating future industrial transformation 4.0 in Indonesia by BPSDMI, and aims to accelerate the future of industrial 4.0 transformation in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, PD 4.0 is a center of Digital Industry Indonesia 4.0, which also has a vision as a one-stop solutions in the adoption of Industry 4.0 in Indonesia and becoming an Indonesia 4.0 window for the world. The program will focus on bringing you the latest updates from the Indonesia perspective and showcasing technological capabilities and expertise in implementing digitalization strategies. Next, I would like to run through some housekeeping announcements. For the Q&A session, please post questions you may have using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And also, please be advised that we do have a selection of language options between Bahasa Indonesia and English. Please feel free to switch accordingly. Kindly remember to mute your microphones to ensure no interruption during the presentation. Thank you. And before we start our sessions, we will appreciate your response to the feedback poll, which will be popping out on your screen right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start our session by welcoming Mr. Darren Shah, Portfolio Director, Industrial Transformation at Constellar, to deliver the joint opening remarks. Over to you, Darren.
Thank you, Beryl. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today at this ITAP 2022 Indonesia Roadshow in collaboration with BPSDMI, focusing on accelerating future industrial transformation 4.0 in Indonesia. I would like to thank BPSDMI, Ministry of Industry Indonesia, for collaborating with us to curate this session. I would also like to thank Bapak Agus Gumiwang Kartasasmita, Minister of Industry Indonesia, and Bapak Arus Gunawan, Head of Agency of Industrial Human Resources Development, Ministry of Industry Indonesia, for their support at this roadshow. Today's session is part of the lead-up for ITAP 2022 to create opportunities for collaboration and overcome industry challenges. As a business event platform, Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific 2022 aims to help companies understand the importance of Industry 4.0 in enabling effective and efficient work processes. ITAP 2022 envisions providing a strategic platform for manufacturers, technology providers, and thought leaders to exchange ideas and best practices, build new networks, and catalyze opportunities for innovation. From the start, we envision ITAP to be not just another trade show, but a platform to shape the learning, development, and adoption of Industry 4.0. As ITAP moves into our 5th edition, ITAP 2022 will take a deep dive into trends and developments in 3 key dimensions, focusing on digitization, talent and workforce development, and environmental sustainability. These key trends greatly influence the magnitude of sustainable business development for advanced manufacturing and its related sectors both locally, regionally, and globally. ITAP 2022 is designed as a transformation journey comprising of on and offline activities and programs for targeted audience groups across multiple industry sectors and markets, addressing their different needs, levels of understanding, and adoption. This year, we will have various key highlight areas and provide experiential ITAP experience zones so that our attendees can immerse in interactive space to experience how Industry 4.0 can be adopted to better their business processes. ITAP 2022 will be held on 18th to 20th October this year. Please visit our website industrialtransformation.com for more information. Back to today's program, which is specifically crafted for the Indonesian market to bring you the latest update from the Indonesian perspective, showcasing technological capabilities and expertise in implementing digitization strategies. Please enjoy this session, and we look forward to welcoming you to ITAP 2022 this October. Back to you, Beryl.
Thank you, Danan. Next, let us welcome Bapak Arus Gunawan, Head of Agency of Industrial Human Resources Development, Ministry of Industry Indonesia, to deliver the joint opening remarks. Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, kami persilahkan Bapak Arus Gunawan, Kepala Badan Pengembangan Sumber Daya Manusia Industri, untuk menyampaikan sambutan.
Yang terhormat Menteri Perindustrian Republik Indonesia, yang terhormat Menteri Perdagangan dan Industri Singapura, yang terhormat Konselor Direktur Bisnis, yang kami hormati hadirin yang berbahagia, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Sebelum saya memulai sambutan ini, perkenankan saya mengucapkan terima kasih atas kerjasama antara Pusat Industri Digital Indonesia 4.0 dengan ITAP yang diselenggarakan Kick-Off Industrial Digital Transformation Program 2022. Pada tahun 2018, Presiden Republik Indonesia telah meluncurkan Making Indonesia 4.0 melalui Making Indonesia 4.0 yang diharapkan Indonesia akan menjadi 10 besar ekonomi dengan net ekspor mencapai 10% dari PDB. Meningkatkan produktivitas industri hingga 2 kali lipat, dan membangun kemampuan inovasi lokal dengan meningkatkan alokasi pembiayaan R&D mencapai 20% dari PDB. Untuk mencapai aspirasi tersebut, telah ditetapkan 10 prioritas nasional dalam peta jalan Making Indonesia 4.0, antara lain yang pertama, perbaikan alur aliran barang dan material. Yang kedua, desain ulang zona industri. Yang ketiga, akomodasi standar berkelanjutan. Yang keempat, pemberdayaan IKM. Yang kelima, membangun infrastruktur digital nasional. Yang keenam, menarik minat investasi asing. Yang ketujuh, peningkatan kualitas SDM. Yang kedelapan, pembangunan ekosistem inovasi. Yang kesembilan, insentif untuk investasi teknologi. Dan yang ke-10, harmonisasi aturan dan kebijakan. Untuk mengakselerasi implementasi Making Indonesia 4.0, Kementerian Perindustrian telah mengidentifikasikan ada 5 sektor dalam Making Indonesia 4.0 berdasarkan dampak yang akan dihasilkan dan kemudahan implementasinya. Kelima sektor tersebut adalah industri makanan dan minuman, industri tekstil dan produk tekstil, industri otomotif, industri kimia, dan industri elektronik. Yang kelimanya memberi kontribusi mencapai 70% terhadap PDB industri. 65% ekspor industri dan 60% tenaga sektor industri. Dengan adanya pandemi COVID-19 sejak awal tahun 2020 ini, Kementerian Perindustrian juga menambah fokus akselerasi pada sektor industri farmasi dan industri alat kesehatan. Hadirin yang saya hormati, untuk melakukan percepatan transformasi digital di Indonesia, Kementerian Perindustrian sebagai leading sektor telah meluncurkan Pusat Industri Digital Indonesia 4.0 PD 4.0 pada bulan Desember tahun 2021. PD 4.0 memiliki visi sebagai solusi satu atap penerapan industri 4.0 di Indonesia dan jendela Indonesia 4.0 untuk dunia. Saya menyambut dengan bangga dan optimis bahwa dengan kegiatan ini akan dapat menyelenggarakan atau mengakselerasi transformasi industri 4.0 baik di Indonesia maupun di Singapura. Hadirin yang saya hormati, kami sangat terbuka dengan peluang kerjasama yang bisa memberikan manfaat bagi kita semua, khususnya dalam bidang pengembangan sumber daya manusia industri dan transformasi industri 4.0. Saya sangat yakin dengan semakin banyak stakeholder yang terlibat akan dapat memberikan dampak yang lebih besar bagi pertumbuhan industri dan ekonomi di negara kita. Hadirin yang kami hormati, demikianlah beberapa hal yang ingin saya sampaikan dalam kesempatan ini. Saya mengajak dan mengundang para pelaku usaha industri, teknologi provider, service provider, dan seluruh stakeholder Indonesia, dan seluruh stakeholder dalam industri 4.0 untuk bergabung dalam kontribusi aktif dalam mengakselerasi transformasi industri 4.0 di Indonesia melalui PD 4.0. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bapak Arus Gunawan, for the joint opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome the guest of honor, Bapak Agus Gumiwang Kartasasmita, Minister of Industry Indonesia, to deliver the keynote address.
Mr. Arus Gunawan, Head of Agency of Industrial Human Resources Development, Ministry of Industry, Republic of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Industrial companies have long trailed behind retailers and other B2C players when it comes to digitizing their marketing and sales operation, but they are now on the cusp of change. With the COVID-19 pandemic forcing workers to stay home and limiting in-person interactions, digital solutions are now essential to customer outreach and support. Analysis done by leading research firms have shown digital leaders within industrial companies, those that made early investments in automation, e-commerce, and other areas, have already achieved revenues and shareholders' returns that were higher than those of digital slow to adapt. Industrial digital transformation refers to a set of innovation and transition solutions towards new business models and revenue streams consisting of three fundamental pillars: automation, improved manufacturing processes, and production optimization. But this type of transformation is not limited to the technologies that are used. It represents a culture of change integrated into all work areas and a transformation in the way different teams are managed. Only in this way can digitalization have a real beneficial impact on the production of any company. The question begot, why is that important for Indonesia? First and foremost, Indonesia is the largest basis of manufacturing industry throughout ASEAN, with significant contribution on the national scale economics, contributing almost 20% of national GDP for the first quarter 2022. Our manufacturing sector is the key to economic growth. Thus, pursuing digital transformation for Indonesia is not an option. Ladies and gentlemen, digital transformation in the industry has gone from being an option that could give companies a competitive advantage to being a necessity for surviving in the current context of Industry 4.0. Industry 5.0 is just around the corner, and without the digital skills involved in transformation, companies will not be able to keep up with emerging demands or compete against the rest of the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID has been a curse and a blessing. A blessing as it forced us to adapt at lightning speed. The post-pandemic situation we live in is moving towards a digital fever mentality. Companies who will succeed will be those that create smart experiences and customer journeys that facilitate and or complement people's lives. Companies who will fail will be those that don't seek the benefit from new artificial intelligence technologies and don't take advantage of data to anticipate trends in demand and make decisions that improve the workforce. I earlier mentioned that COVID was a disguised blessing. Our economy was hit hard, but our manufacturing's perseverance, combined with strong, prudent policies, our manufacturing industry sector went to be the largest contributor, a staggering 76% of total national export. Ladies and gentlemen, late last year, we launched the Center of Digital Industry Indonesia 4.0, also known as PD 4.0. This is part of our grand strategy in riding the 4.0 wave. PD aims to first showcase and taste firsthand the application and transformation process of Industry 4.0. Second, to provide competency improvement for CXO, managers, engineers, and workers from industry. Third, providing access to an exclusive network of the Industry 4.0 ecosystem. Fourth, assist companies in scaling up its transformation journey from the discovery stage to development. And lastly, deliver solutions to problems faced by the industry, especially small and medium industries. Ladies and gentlemen, President Joko Widodo has launched Making Indonesia 4.0 in the year of 2018, with the goal to become one of the top 10 global economy by 2030. The program focused on 7 priority sectors, which are food and beverage, textile and apparel, automotive, electronics, chemical, pharmacy and medical devices, Combined, they contribute 70% of GDP, 65% of exports, and provide 60% of employment for the manufacturing sector. All in all, the key success factor lies in our ability to speed up the digital transformation process. I want to convey that Indonesian manufacturing sector is in continuous evolution mode, continuous transformation, digitalizing what can be. It is with pleasure to invite all of the stakeholders to join and contribute actively via PD 4.0 in fast-tracking the transformation of our various industry. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end by thanking both the Singaporean Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific for their cooperation in this event. I hereby open the Industrial Digital Transformation Program 2022, PD 4.0's role in Indonesia's future manufacturing industry. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bapak Agus Gumiwang Kartasasmita, for the keynote address. Next up, we have two videos showcasing PD's Digital Transformation Program Kickoff and the ITAP 2022 event.
PD 4.0 is located in Permata Hijau, South Jakarta, which stands on an area of 12,957 square meters, with a building area of 17,600 square meters. PD 4.0 has a smart building concept as a part of full technology implementation, which is able to manage buildings more efficiently and manageable, especially in terms of security, energy use, and facility utilization. A new era of Industry 4.0 has dawned, which is marked by increasing connectivity, interaction among people, machines, and other resources that are more convergent as the result of information and communication technology advancement. This has impacted the entire industry value chain, creating new business models on a digital basis to achieve higher efficiency and better product quality. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, human-machine interface, robotic and sensor technology, and 3D printing are the key drivers of this new industrial revolution. Industry 4.0 assets. PD's partners can contribute machines or hardware to be displayed in the Showcase Center as a model factory, machines for testbed, machines for lot needs, or Industrial 4.0 technology tools such as VR glasses, sensors, logistics robots, and servers. Stakeholders are encouraged to share and collaborate to develop Industry 4.0 implementation in Indonesia. To build an interconnected network ecosystem, we have a business process consisting of three aspects: input, process, and output. Ministry of Industry has launched the Center of Digital Industry Indonesia 4.0 to embody the national campaign Making Indonesia 4.0. I believe PD 4.0 and its stakeholders are able to revitalize the manufacturing sector as an accelerator to achieve our vision to become a top 10 economy in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next session is a case study on how connectivity is transforming smart factories technology implementation. Brought to you by Mr. Kiyoshi Kurata, President Director PT Asbil Berka Indonesia.
Welcome, everyone. I appreciate this opportunity being here today. We're pleased to be an industry partner of ITAP for 5 years now. I am Kiyoshi Kurata and the President Director of PT Asbil Berka Indonesia. Asbil is a leading company in building and industrial automation. It's great to be speaking with all of you later about how Asbil's automation technologies have contributed to the manufacturing landscape in Indonesia. First, I wish to briefly introduce our company. Asbil Corporation was formerly known as Yamatake Corporation. Asbil is a leading company in building and industrial automation, using its measurement and control technologies to provide customers with high value-added solutions to make their operations more efficient and sustainable. Founded in 1906, Asbil has been in the business for 115 years and is headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. Asbil has now more than 200 operation bases worldwide with a strong global network. In fiscal year 2021, Asbil achieved a net sales of 256.6 billion yen. To date, Asbil has a total strength of more than 10,000 employees worldwide. In Indonesia, Asbil has a head office in Jakarta and 3 other offices in Surabaya, Cilegon, and Medan. We provide life cycle solutions to customers, which helps maintain long-term optimal operations and contributes to the sustainable society. The Asbil Group has 3 businesses verticals: building automation, advanced automation, and life automation. Advanced automation contributes 36.5% to the group's business, providing automation solutions for factories and the plants. We provide distributed control systems, field instruments, and control valves targeting industries such as petrochemical, basic and fine chemical, and steel, and so on. We also provide control products for factories such as electrical and electric devices, semiconductors, food and beverage, pharmaceutical, and industrial machinery. Without further delay, we will be touching on the topic how connectivity is transforming smart factories technology implementation. Manufacturing optimization can be achieved through digital transformation, DX. In recent years, many manufacturing companies have been investing in DX and leveraging on the automation technologies to maximize production and cost efficiency in the long term. The use of Industry 4.0 technologies has become part of the global trends in the manufacturing sector. Manufacturing plays a vital role in Indonesia. The roadmap of Making Indonesia 4.0 was introduced to revitalize the manufacturing industry through DX. The Industry Ministry has also launched the Center of Indonesian Digital Industry 4.0, PIDI 4.0, as a one-stop solution for the adoption of Industry 4.0 in Indonesia. Data-driven factories are connected seamlessly through connection of various devices in the field, which leverages on automation technologies and the solutions for digitalizing the operational processes, improving efficiency and the quality of production. The first step of DX in manufacturing can be the most challenging barrier, yet it is critical to start digital transformation for smart factories. How do manufacturers digitalize the data collection with ease? Let's look at our approach on the next slide. What DX means in manufacturing? The ultimate focus is to implement smart manufacturing to improve operations with modern technologies. Maximum product efficiency can be achieved through data management and optimization across production equipment. Besides, the vast experience and the knowledge of on-site professionals, new solutions can help connect and translate a large amount of data on digital platforms. There are many benefits of implementing DX in manufacturing sites, which include shortening cycle time, and the lead time of production, reducing demand of labor, workload, and hours for production management and quality control, securing the traceability of production data. Using DX in manufacturing will enhance profit per unit of time by improving production efficiency and customer reliability by mitigating risk proactively. In contrast, with the conventional method of collecting data manually, manufacturers deploy DX at the entire manufacturing site. This helps to accurately recognize, analyze, and make further improvement to the production status of the entire manufacturing site. In the beginning, there is investment required in the new technologies and the personnel trainings. But in the long term, there would be big benefits from DX in manufacturing. In order to drive DX at the manufacturing sites, the process consists of 3 levels, from data collection to analysis and finally optimization. At level 1, collection, we identify and collect useful information to visualize and understand multiple manufacturing needs, such as production process, quality, utility, consumption, and more. At level 2, analysis, we analyze and learn from the vast amount of collected information and determine contributing factors to our objectives, model events, and predict the future values. And finally, at the level 3, optimization, we studied accumulated data and future projections. Using analyzed data, we can therefore make optimal decisions based on the models we have built, and then implement the suitable strategies. We must know the importance of implementing DX starting with level 1 on data collection and subsequently with level 2 and 3. To adopt DX at manufacturing sites, flexible equipment and solutions must be considered during initial investment. What is required to start DX level 1 for data collection? In order to collect data for the entire manufacturing site, it is necessary to involve 2 items. First, quick and flexible connection to various communication protocols. And second, connect various devices to the host network. Equipment from various manufacturers is used in factories, and each equipment uses devices from various brands. These are configured with different specifications for each equipment, and different communication protocols are used for each brand. By connecting these, DX level 1 has started. First, we must identify possible issues that may occur during DX. In level 1, usually it is about connecting multiple equipment on the common platform. There are 4 main issues. 1, it requires long engineering hours to create a program that is suitable to the specifications of each equipment. 2, one must understand the specifications on each equipment, as the device configurations differ depending on the type of equipment. Number 3, connection to many different devices in the equipment. And 4, modification done to the program may affect the performance of the existing equipment. Therefore, the term connecting is the common issue faced during the first level of DX. The way forward to address and solve the earlier identified issues is by using flexible manufacturing technology for connection. At SBL, we recommend to use smart gateway devices that can perform the following functions to collect and consolidate the data seamlessly, which helps to increase productivity. By using such technology, manufacturers can lessen the need for programming to connect devices. Use multi-vendor communication for various devices. Integrate the connection of many devices. Reduce modification to integrate existing equipment. We will introduce specific two case studies in Indonesia. The first case study is about how an equipment manufacturer of furnace for automotive has benefited from installing Asbury Smart Device Gateway. The customer used several PLC programmable logic controller brand specified for each user and created a communication program to connect the requested devices every time. Since the communication protocols are different for each PLC brand and device, it required spending 1 month's worth of engineering hours to create programs, the communication for one equipment. After the customer adopted Asbury Smart Device Gateway, there is no need to create a communication program, and the communication setting can complete the equipment's communication design within 30 minutes. In this capacity of utilizing a programless communication, Asbury Smart Device Gateway helped the customer to solve one of the main issues, which is long hours of engineering work to create a dedicated communication program. For example, an engineer may spend about 1 month of hours of design of communications programming. After using Smart Device Gateway, the engineering hours is heavily reduced to only 30 minutes. The second case study illustrates how we help utility data collection at company in the automotive sector. In order to properly manage the utility data, it is necessary to collect individual data with each building in the factory. Hence, it is recommended to allow communication among the devices distributed in each building of the factory using a common protocol. For that, engineers who has knowledge for network communication, programming, and equipment are required. The equipment to transfer the collected data to the existing system may result in possible impact. Asbury Smart Device Gateway can be used to facilitate communications in all buildings of the factory. Various kinds of data can be collected without the need for programming, and our solution can easily be installed to existing system and accessed by internal register of Smart Device Gateway. The customer can now achieve the visualize and collect the factory utility data. I reached the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for the presentation, Mr. Kiyoshi. A gentle reminder to the audience to post any questions you may have in the Q&A button on your screen, and our speaker will attend to you shortly. Before we move to the next session, we would appreciate your response to the feedback poll, which will be popping out on your screen right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the panel discussion. I would like to introduce our moderator for the next session, Mr. Carlos Caro, advisor and leader DCC Indonesia, McKinsey & Company, to lead the discussion on making Indonesia 4.0 as an integrated roadmap to implement several strategies to enter the Industry 4.0 era, and how the roadmap will require collaborative actions among multiple stakeholders that range from government institutions, associations, and industry players to academic elements. Joining Carlos Caro at this panel discussions are Bapak Tirta Wisnu Permana, Head of Center of Education and Training for Industrial Human Resources, Ministry of Industry Indonesia, Bapak Asep Nur, General Manager Manufacturing Indolacto Indofood CBP Tbk, Bapak Hedi Santoso, Prescription and Government Relations Director, Indonesia in Timor-Leste Cluster, Schneider Electrics, Bapak Fadli Hamsani, GM Industrial IoT Telkomsel, Mr. Molaki Martin, Global Director, Center of Excellence, SAP Digital Supply Chain. A gentle reminder, please post your questions using the Q&A button, and our moderator will read out your questions to our panelists. Over to you, Carlos.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to today's panel discussion on emerging stronger digital transformation and industrialization in Indonesia, I4.0. The Ministry of Industry of Indonesia has designed Making Indonesia 4.0. This is actually through the 10 national priority strategies. And this is the integrated roadmap as empowerment to manufacturing sectors into the Industry 4.0 era. The roadmap, as previously mentioned, entails collaborative action amongst the multiple stakeholders, ranging from the government, institution, association, and industry players. With us today, the expert panelists of the ministry and different industry players who will be sharing their insights and experience in the session, and they will be discussing about the harmonization of policy, regulations, building national digital infrastructure, and also accommodating the sustainability standards. Please allow me to welcome and introduce our panel members for today. Bapak Tirta Wisnu Permana is the Head of Center of Education and Training for Industrial Human Resources, Ministry of Industry. Pak Wisnu has been dedicating his career to the industrial human resources development field for over 14 years, whereas he's begun his career at the Program and Finance Division in the Secretariat of Industrial Human Resources Development Board. Pak Wisnu became the head of the Center of Education and Training for Industrial Human Resources for the Ministry of Industry, BPSDMI, in 2021, and was also appointed to serve as the acting director for the Industry 4.0 Digital Innovation Capability Center, or PD 4.0. Prior to this leadership role, he was the head of the Center of Plantation-Based Industry in 2019. Next, we have Pak Asep Nur, General Manager Manufacturing Indolacto Indofood CBP Tbk. Pak Asep Nur has 24 years experience in the food manufacturing through various management positions. He is the General Manager of Manufacturing of Indolacto Indofood CBP, where he brings vast experience in manufacturing and operation, focusing on supply chain, project management, quality management, safety and environmental, as well as business sustainability. His experience and roles mainly focus on building human resources and facilities to ensure continuous improvement towards optimizing the company's performance effectively and efficiently. Next, we have Malaki Martin. He's the Global Director, Center of Excellence SAP Digital Supply Chains, whereas he is the thought leader and digital advocate with over 30 years of experience in the software industry. He helped reimagining strategy and engagement through innovation, disruption, digitalization, transformation by driving tailored personal experiences and intelligent digital journeys across every channels. He has helped various high-profile companies in key business verticals and implementations of their digital journey. Pak Malaki has a deep global industry experience in the essential industries, utilities, transports, energy, retail, telecommunications, banking and finance, as well as fintech. He has exceptional track record and diverse range of skills in digital thought leadership, Industry 4.0, cybersecurity, ESG, and data analytics. Next, we have Bapak Hedi Santoso, Prescription and Government Relations Director of Indonesia and Timor-Leste Cluster for Schneider Electric. Pak Hedi Santoso has been with Schneider Electric for 20 years and currently acts as a prescription and standardization leader, industrial automation business vice president for Indonesia and Timor-Leste Cluster, as well as government relations director. Pak Hedi is an experienced industry specialist with demonstrated history of working on acceleration and digital transformation and sustainability in Indonesia, specifically through the Schneider Batam factory that is appointed as part of the World Economic Forum Lighthouse and Indy 4.0 Lighthouse inaugurated by the Ministry of Industry, Republic Indonesia. Last, we have Fadli Hamzani, General Manager of Industrial IoT of Telkomsel. Fadli Hamzani leads the Industrial Internet of Things ecosystem at Telkomsel, where he is responsible to help Indonesia industry to transform digitally together with the Industry 4.0 on Telkomsel's IoT. He is also served as one of the key experts at PD 4.0. Pak Fadli started his 15-year journey in manufacturing industry as the key engineering manager, experienced in the implementations and automation systems, and began to take part in the Making Indonesia 4.0 program together with the Ministry of Industry in 2019. Throughout his involvement in the program, Pak Fadli has been in charge of development for the I4.0 curriculum, manager training programs, and mentoring programs for SMEs and large industries. Prior to that, he established a digital transformation department at his previous company, where he was tasked to be the leader of massive digitalization changes, starting from the company change management, vertical and horizontal integrations for end-to-end supply chains. And then Please, my name is Carlos Caro. I'm the client advisor and leader of Digital Capability Center for Industry 4.0 with McKinsey and Company here in Indonesia, and I'll be moderating the discussions today. Welcome to all the panelist members for today. Thank you for your time, and thank you again for being able to share the key insights and the experience. Good afternoon, everyone. I will probably begin with the questions to Pak Wisnu, if I may, with regards to the transformation journey that Indonesia already has done so far with regards to making Indonesia 4.0. What has the Ministry of Industry has done specifically with regards to digital transformation in Indonesia? Pak Wisnu.
Okay, thank you, Pak Carlos, for having me and distinguished other panels. Talking about the digital transformation agenda in Indonesia, that Indonesia President has given directions regarding digital transformations, which place the manufacturing or industrial sector and human resources as important component in taking advantage of digital transformation momentum that affects all aspects of the economy and society. And as you know that Ministry of Industry was appointed as the leading sector in the transformation of the Industry 4.0 in Indonesia. We call it Making Indonesia 4.0. The Ministry of Industry has, as Pak Agus Gumiwang and Pak Arus earlier mentioned, we have a 9-month program to accelerate transformation in Indonesia, and we recognize 7 Indonesia industry priority such as food and beverage, textile, apparel, automotive, electronic, chemical, pharmacy, medical device. Why we choose 7 sectors currently? Because they contribute all sectors 70% of GDP, 65% of export, and provide 60% of employment for the manufacturing sector. And for all audience, we have the important thing, the information that Indonesia currently have main 3 regulatory support for making Indonesia that cover the implementation of Industry 4.0 as a national major project, Indonesia Industry 4.0 Readiness Index, we call it INDI 4.0 for assessment and work competency standard. And the last important thing, we have an establishing PD 4.0 as the part of the ecosystem transformation digital in Indonesia, especially for the manufacturing. That's all, Pak Carlos.
Thank you, Pak Wisnu. That's very, very insightful. And then I think that the government ministry is also, quite done a lot with regards to this program. I think just a follow-up questions with regards to the initiatives. How will the Indonesian government to support the incoming technologies, specifically from overseas? Is there any specific programs that will be coming along and be supported?
That is interesting question, Pak Carlos. You know that Indonesia has a document, master plan document program, or we call it Rencana Induk Pembangunan Industri Nasional. They stated that the technology, human resources, as well as innovation and creativity have become the primary factor for the development of industrial sector. For instance, we have a program, the procurement technology using turnkey projects. And the second program, we have a super direction text for the research and development to develop the technology for the industry. And we said that in 2018, when the president started making Indonesia 4.0, the former minister at that time, Mr. Erlangga, boost the technology transfer from abroad companies to local companies, as well as actively support manufacturing global to come Indonesia. And from the government, that would provide interesting incentive. I mean, that is the support based on text for the technology and research and development. Moreover, if you want to know the constitutions related to the investment, you can follow the Cipta Kerja Law or Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja number 11 years 2020.
Understood. That's great. Thank you again, Pa Wisnu. Really appreciate it. I think the next questions that I have is to Pa Asep Nur, if I may, Pa Asep. As one of the Indonesia's leading packaged milk producers, and then how has the COVID-19 impacted Indolacto's production, and what steps did Indolacto take to address these challenges? I think this is bearing to the fact that we have many issues with supply chains as well, right, due to the pandemic, crisis. And what sort of resiliencies or steps that you have actually taken internally within your organization?
Thank you, Carlos, for your question. That is very interesting question. Yeah, we are blessing before because we have not done, but separately we implement Industry 4.0 previously, but we have the more impact for the COVID. Yeah, during COVID, Indolacto also impact by supply chain issue. Yeah, especially for imported material. Yeah. As we know, in Indonesia, dairy fresh milk is not enough. We have just around the supply 30%, yeah, from the total, and then mainly we import material, yeah, like the milk powder from the outside. How we address? Yeah, we increase of the stock level, yeah, and then directly connected with the vendor manufacturing replenishment. So we connect the system to our vendors. That is our prevention. And then also the second is decreasing the sales. During the pandemic, the sales is decreasing, mostly in the beginning. Yeah. Also, consumer purchase power decreasing, yeah, because the many people lost their job. We look opportunity to selling the product, yeah, especially in family pack size. So yeah, we make the more advertising, and then also how the dairy product promote as the healthy choice during the pandemic. And then also we have the readiness of infrastructure, yeah, especially IoT. During pandemic, the people work from home, and then mostly in our office, yeah, around the 60% using the PC, especially in office officer, and then that is the gap. So yeah, we change the system using the laptop, and also they change the bandwidth, yeah, to become bigger. That is the situation that during the pandemic, the impact to the dairy industry. Thank you,
Pastor. Thank you, Pastor. That's really very, very important sort of experience that you've gone through. I think if I may ask like a follow-up questions, right, with regards to enabling or leveraging on the Industry 4.0 technology, what do you think, how should you best prepare to become more resilient towards disruptions like COVID-19 or perhaps other disruptions, right, in the future?
Yes.
When it comes to manufacturing processes, not specifically to supply chains, but also help your processes, being more stringent or being more protected with regards to, increasing productivity.
Yes. Yes, supply chain is, I think, very important for us. Yeah, that is how to assure the business running well. During the COVID, we are a lot, yeah, of learning. Yeah, we are realize the technology is disrupt how we are working. Yeah, we realize Internet of Things application and solid manufacturing system make company more competitive and resilient. From my opinion, the capabilities need to develop, yeah, in the manufacturing or infrastructuring. First is the smart factory is very important. Yeah. We do smart factory around the 5 years ago, and then we realized, yeah, during pandemic that is very meaningful for us. So we are more interest how to implement for each factory in our Indolacto plant. clear. Second one is the how we realize also the people, how to make the people smart also, how to develop the people in our company to aware and knowledgeable about the industry 4.0. We have the technical development program for operators. We have supervisory development program for the supervisor or manager, and then we incorporate the curriculum by industry 4.0. That is very important for us.
Yeah.
I think that the learning during the COVID.
Excellent. Thank you, Pa Asep. Thank you again. It's very, very helpful for us in the floor. Next, I would like to turn to Pak Malaki Martin with regards to the making 4.0 enablement, right, to technology specifically, right? Questions to you, Pak Malaki. How has the Industry 4.0 technology impacted the overall digital transformations? As we can see, like supply chain processes or production efficiency, especially over the last few years, right, when many businesses were forced to rethink their strategies again. I think this is just overall, like, how do they approach their strategies to become more resilient?
Selamat siang, Carlos, and selamat siang, everybody. It's great to be part of this esteemed panel, and it's great to have the opportunity to participate in this ITAP roadshow. It's a really good question, Carlos, and I think, in the last few years, we've witnessed, I guess some people call it unrivaled disruption in terms of the different impacts on our society, on our companies, and on the world. Whether you look at the results of the pandemic and the ongoing impacts of that, whether it's the trade sanctions that are being threatened on different aspects of the world, or the more recent events and the ongoing situation in Ukraine, we've seen a world where an organization's supply chain has become either its strongest or its weakest link. Those businesses with agile and resilient supply chains have succeeded, while those that have been slow to adapt to the digital transformation have struggled, and in some cases have faced falling further behind as we move out of some of these scenarios and move into the years to come. Industry 4.0 offers, I guess, a holistic approach to both long-term and short-term obstacles in terms of growth and productivity. But I think in that context, it's important to understand what is Industry 4.0. I really enjoyed the previous session from Asbil, and it touched on a lot of the points that I think are relevant in the Industry 4.0 space today. There's been a massive amount of technology change and invention in the last few years. Some people still refer to some of it as emerging technology, but it's actually technology that we now live with, whether that's artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality, advanced analytics, or the Internet of Things, or robotics, or any of these aspects. They're all reality now, and they're changing how materials and products and services are made, exchanged, and consumed. So this represents a paradigm shift in terms of changing productivity through automation on a scale and a scope perhaps that not everyone has been used to or capable of even imagining. And of course, then you add into this the fact that all these organizations are faced with increasing customer expectations, product costs, quality, excellence, experience, and then of course the S word, sustainability, and the impact of that. So the manufacturing environment has therefore had to change. The focus is no longer on capacity, but on the ability to respond quickly to customer needs and market dynamics. And until recently, supply chains were typically measured by efficiency metrics, but with today's disruptions and some of the trends that we have today, there are complex challenges. And this is putting supply chains and manufacturing at the center, not only of a business's success, but also in terms of how they differentiate themselves from the competition.
Excellent, excellent. You've mentioned about the integrations for different equipment and assets and data integrations as well, right? I think this is just one of the questions that came up from the audience. What do you think, like, what sort of different equipment integrations or connectivity, requires, without setting up the whole communications programming? And then And it comes down into the language or the data. What kind of data that manufacturing can start collecting with regards to your point of being resilient?
Yeah, no, it is a good question, and I think everyone, in particular, someone asked me recently about some of the legacy aspects of manufacturing industries as well, in terms of the fact that a lot of organizations are operating antiquated or older equipment, and Industry 4 promises to be an emerging and new innovation, right? But I think the use of sensors and the use of IoT, or industrial IoT, as we sometimes refer to it as, is really all about how we're connecting equipment, and that's connecting both modern equipment, but also some of the legacy equipment that it's out there. And by using the sensors, we're able to, in effect, capture data from the equipment, have the asset talk to us, and give us some, give us some of that information. So from that point of view, we're able to gather data by attaching, quite simple sensors to these devices. We're able to gather different types of data. And then in a manufacturing context, as you said, what is that type of data that's going to add value, right? So we're looking at perhaps performance information, being able to monitor how long a piece of equipment is running, being able to monitor the heat, the temperature, the humidity around the device. We have an example in SAP, for example, where one of our automotive customers is listening to the equipment, and they're using listening devices to listen to the vibrations. They have a series of sounds, which is what sounds good versus what sounds bad, and we've got AI models trained to listen to the sounds, and if they hear a sound that's different from what sounds good, they can actually stop the production line. They can trigger a message to a service engineer, and that service engineer who's skilled and in the right location can come and actually prevent a potential line failure. So in that particular example of automotive, we have been able to use the data being the noise and the speed of operation of the line, to actually prevent line stops. So that's just one example. But we talk about a digital thread in SAP, and that digital thread of information is anything from the equipment information, to the people operating the information, to the duration of the tasks, to the overall equipment effectiveness that can be gathered from the devices. So there's so many different types of data. And we're happy to work with anyone who wants to learn how to gather that information and leverage it to the best of their ability.
Excellent, super helpful. Thank you again, Pak Marky. That's really a good explanation in terms of what sort of integration level and how data will communicate between different assets to maximize the valuable insights. Thanks again. Next, we would like to probably ask the questions to Pak Hedi Santoso, right? I think, as one of the global Industry 4.0 lighthouse in Indonesia, one of the two, that's really becoming sort of like an important experience and landmark, right, to Indonesia industry. Pak Hedi, what are the key contributions to accelerating the digital transformation of industries in Indonesia, mainly towards making Indonesia 4.0? What will be the next steps?
Thank you, Carlos, and also good afternoon, other distinguished speakers. So in Indonesia, we were honored to be recognized and awarded as a Making Indonesia 4.0 Lighthouse by the Ministry of Industry. With this comes the obligation to support and help industry in Indonesia on this digital transformation journey. Digital transformation journey implemented at Schneider, such as IoT, augmented virtual reality, LDS, which is lean digitization system, and energy efficiency, has brought us to a situation where we can reduce by 44% maintenance time, improve operational efficiency by 12%, reduce almost 40% of our scrap cost. Taking outside period of 2019 and before, during 2020 and 2021, with the capacity and capability of virtual connecting, this excellent story has been cascaded to more than 3,000 visitors from 500 companies virtually. There are many countries Indonesia local industry 4.0 has been triggered and supported by Schneider and will keep this patient on board. Of course, with PD, we have a strong belief more and more industry in Indonesia will transform. Not only big, large-scale industry, but also small, medium industries. We have solution and right application for them. Next, come to the question, how we can tap digital transformation to sustainability topic. We as the most sustainable corporation in 2021 and impact company will be ready to go through the journey together with our customers for this kind of a topic. Back to you, Carlos. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Hedi. I think that's very, very interesting, right, in terms of sharing that. Thank you for sharing that experience. Questions are coming up from the audience here. What key obstacles do you face, specifically when delivering, successful digital transformation projects, right? And how long, usually, for digital transformations can take into the fruitions or benefits, for the companies?
For the question of how long and how fast, I mean, speed of transformation is a big question mark. How fast we want it to be, right? We still can find lots of industry are stuck at their initial stage of transformation. In many cases, people and leadership team are key factors on successful digital transformation. A clear objective with a clear roadmap, define the right issue to target with the right duration to solve. First, the right investment and return on investment, plus buy-in from the high leadership are the key here, Carlos. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pak Hedi. Next one, I would like to ask Pak Fadli Hamsani, as part of the, the industry or part of the main companies that help, transformation in Indonesia, and also been involved in a lot of digital transformation for, industries 4.0. Pak Fadli, how do you see the journey of digital transformation for manufacturing in Indonesia so far? And how will digital infrastructure specifically, right, be one of the vital aspects enabling these types of transformation?
Thank you, Carlos. Selamat siang, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this chance to share. And yeah, I think we just looked a few weeks ago. The president of the federal German come to Indonesia and visiting the center of digital, right? And then you can see from Pak Asef from Indolacto talking about how their factory is now start to deploying, implement from Schneider, that getting also the recognition, not only in local, in national recognition, but also in global recognition. We can see that Indonesia now on the start of the level that we are very ready to do the digital transformation and start to implement with supporting with all the ecosystem that what we have today. So when we see on the perspective of the government, first that from the Ministry of Industry, they start with what they call the INDI 4.0, the readiness index, to measure almost 1,000+ industry that's already doing the self-assessment to measure the self, where is the level of the readiness to do the digital transformation in Indonesia. This is the first one. The second one, we know like what Pak Tirta Wisnu mentioning about the PD.0, 4.0, the digital center, the showcase, the capability, the ecosystem, delivery, AI and engineering design that make it us more confident and more ready to accelerate our digital transformation in Indonesia. This is what we have. And when we see the point that Pak Arus and also the Minister Pak Agus Binwang mentioning about the needs and about the focus of one of the from the 10 national priority of the Making Indonesia 4.0, they are mentioning about the digital infrastructure. I think everyone that heard this even today is agree with me. Without the connectivity, where we are, when we want to deploy more massive implementation of the IoT and then augmented reality, virtual reality, data analytics, connecting machine to machine, machine to human, and everything, which is more high speed. It's required more bandwidth. It's required low latency, slicing management, and etc. That at the end of the day, the connectivity and also the infrastructure, it will be and the vital aspect that when we want to go for the next level of the analytics, we need to prepare and to be ready for that one. And in Indonesia, we are happy to say that we're starting already the 5G, and we start already to launch and implement 5G not only for the public, but also for the factory to accelerate and to push more the speed of the acceleration digital transformation and the smart factory in Indonesia, Carlos.
Yeah, thank you, Fadli. I think that's really, really good, right? So suffice to say, from a infrastructure point of view, there's emerging sort of projects to support it. Going back to the question, I'll probably, if I can ask a follow-up questions, right? In terms of, you mentioned about readiness. This is for a company that would like to embark on digital, transformation or Industry 4.0 journey, right? You mentioned about, readiness, setting up the baseline and measuring the effectiveness internally. What else they need to actually prepare for a successful transformation?
Thanks. This is really important. I'm really honored that I have an experience to meet almost 1,000+ industry in Indonesia, doing some consult and also to help them within the solution that we have, the end-to-end solution that we have. And what we are seeing here is that the digital transformation is not only about the technology adoption. It's about the people and culture change. It's about the digital transformation strategy. They need to understand what is the impact of the business. They need to know when they select the technology, they need to use the right technology selection that can be open, interoperable, scalable, can talk each other. And that's one of the key points if they want to success on their digital transformation. And then forget about the organization. Why we talk about the organization, I think from the McKinsey research also saying that the low competency is a part of point that we need to anticipate. And we are lucky, again, with PD 4.0, we have the capability centers that doing upskilling, reskilling, awareness. Even now in Indonesia, we are ready to be to have the legal for the certification of the transformation manager with the national skill competency based. And then also what is the very important point that all the industry that if they want to start their digital transformation or smart factory, they need to start to involve their people, their employee since beginning of the digital transformation. Because without the engagement, without the people involvement, without they know what is the personal value for them, that will be hard to get the our digital transformation journey is been success. And also again, what I said, not only focus on the technology. We need to know that this is part of business. It's not about the fancy. It's a part of the change in terms of the overall of the organization. Because again, if we are like on the people development, we have the technology, but who will be use this? By the technology, we try to empowering the people to have to getting the productivity, efficiency, and sustainability. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Fadli. I think that's really, really very, very spot on, right? In terms of, increasing the human capability towards the new transformation journey, right? Let me change gear a bit with regards to, policy and regulations, right? This is the questions that came up from the audience. Let me ask the panel members in the open floor. What would be the next steps or next, ideas for the government, the Indonesian government can do to help accelerating the transformation journey? Would there be any significant or special incentives or any allowance, for the domestic technology companies to come and then be more immersive into the whole operations? I think this is questions that open up to all the panel members, whoever they're interested to answer it first. More than welcome to do that.
Yeah. Yes, Carlos. I'm Fadli. I'm trying to also to answer this question from you. Maybe another speaker will be also giving some opinion. The first, I think, is the things that what the government doing now on the right track. and we can see the result. We can see more and more industry today is giving the next level of their transformation. And also what is important is not the big company or the MNC, but also in the small medium industry. A few months back, I'm going with the Minister of Industry, to visiting one of the small medium enterprise or small medium industry that they able to change their business process. We are doing the traceability, energy management consumption, and also real-time monitoring. They're giving the result of more than 13% of the energy consumption, and also their business increase of until 7%, their export business. So what is the next, what we need to do is the first is we need to elaborate more this ecosystem. The government as a regulation will be supporting us an ecosystem to prepare the people, to prepare an ecosystem, and also to giving an exposure. How is the role model, not only the factory as a smart factory, but also the industrial park as a smart industrial park as one of the ecosystem. I think this is the next level, because the next point is we need to go for the analytics, right? It's not the connect, collect, and analyze. So the next level, we need to go more on the blockchain's activity and also more stakeholder engagement. That's my point of view.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone would like to actually answer that as well, in terms of what do you think the government can help further in terms of pushing the transformation journey in Indonesia?
Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Following the Padli answering, I think what the government policy is the right way. Yeah. I just add about all the industry 4.0 as the curriculum in our education. Yeah. Start maybe from the level of high school, or maybe in the university. So that is the point, how to develop the people aware and knowledgeable about the industry 4.0. That is the our purpose. Thank you, Pak.
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor. Yes, Pak Hedi.
I think, Carlos, what I can add is that I do agree with what has been mentioned by Fadli and also Pak Asep before. I think which is good today that we have PD, right? This center is going to be very supporting the digital transformations, especially for the small medium industries, which is a big part of industries in Indonesia. Maybe they don't have a kind of capacity to be like a large industry which have a very solid team and also with a financial capability to buy the new technologies to get into this kind of digital transformation. So with this PD, where all of PD partners are located, they can share their knowledge with a kind of a right level of values, right level of budget for the small medium industry to transform themselves. This is the first part. The second part is also how we can, because industrial transformation is about end-to-end process, right? We have the factories which is transformed, but how about the competencies of people? I mean, the resources that we have. I mean, the people resources. This is also something that we've been working together with the Ministry of Education, how we develop the competencies of the industrial automation of our students from the vocational school until the university, to develop the right curriculum for them to enter this industry at a proper level. I think this is what we can do, and this is also this has been implemented in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Just to build on that as well, this is an interesting question that coming just from the audience, right? Through the COVID-19 pandemic, supply chain issue disruptions become a new normal. Then the microeconomic of inflations become a new normal. Now, the big question here, right, for companies that would like to go into a transformation journey, we are now sort of like in the junctions of, capital are very expensive, right? The number of sales is dropping, and also quite a lot of other issues as well when it comes to productivity. How do we address that, leveraging on their transformation journey, making it more sustainable? And then how the digital transformations to become more relevant, right? And then get the outright objectives or the output that the companies really would like to seek from that overall transformation journeys. Maybe someone could pick up those questions and can answer it.
Yeah, I'll have a first go at it if you want, Pat Carlos. I mean, it's a really interesting question, and I think everyone wants to transform, and they're super worried about the expense and the capital outlay that's going to take. I think Paketi and Pakfadli and all of the others have made mention of the fact that Industry 4.0 is about not just about the technology, but also about the people. And about the point just made around creating digital natives, etc. I think is really important. But I think, and it was said earlier on in the session, knowing where you are and how you start that journey, and then having realistic KPIs is really important, right? So that we certainly offer what we call a maturity assessment in order to help people get on that journey. And really, what we want to do by doing that is to talk to them about where they're at today. What are the low-hanging fruit, for want of a better expression, that can be implemented? And a lot of the ways that can be done are through very simple methods, whether that's in changing the roles of people in terms of how they integrate with the technologies, or whether they need technology at all, right? So I think it's really important. And another key area, and this is one that ties back to the question asked earlier around, how can people be incentivized, is, there is a lot of talk about sustainability at the moment, and really understanding how you can leverage this technology to deliver sustainability outcomes is actually another key area. Never mind incentives to do it, never mind the cost of doing it. People are eventually going to be penalized if they don't do it. So I think how you can take your company on a journey to build in that sustainability and leverage Industry 4 technologies and capability is important. And you can only do that by knowing where you are today. So that's why we offer a maturity assessment where we take people, find their starting point, help them to develop realistic KPIs, identify the change management it's going to mean to their organization, how they migrate their solutions and their data to accommodate that, and then lead with from the top effectively in terms of the desired outcomes.
Thank you, Pak Malaki. That's really, really helpful. Anyone else would like to answer on that point in terms of the increasing of capital?
Yes, Carlos. I think it's like what Malaki mentioning. I think this is really important, especially the real happening, the reality that happening today on the industry in Indonesia, especially. So the first point is like what Malaki mentioning. I would like to giving a simple point. The first is when you want to do the digital transformation, please answer. This is coming from your pain point. So this is coming from your problem. So it's not you want to do something because you like to have the VR, you like to have the AR. No, it's because of the business. So because you know that this is your pain point, so you need to identify this is the right pain point or not. The second one, you should do the visibility study. You need to ensure this is really the way how you need to do. Is it really this is the technology that you need to select? So maybe it's not this, maybe that one. Don't do the overkilling selection technology because it will be never giving you the benefit of this digital transformation. And the second point, you need to measure your capability. Not every time you need to do by yourself. You need to work with your partner because sometimes you think that you can get the saving when you do by yourself. But no, maybe the journey, the investment of the people, and the time to go to the market and to giving the solution to your customer will take more time, this is the cost. So to have this ecosystem capability together with the partners and everything is another point. And that last not least, doing the pilot, no need massive. So you just select which one is low hanging fruit, which one that you think that you can get the payback fast, then do it. So this is the point, and do some evaluation for that. And the last point that we cannot avoid is about the demography. So more and more is millennial, more and more is Z generation, this is disruption. They will play the TikTok in the factory. next time. They want to see everything on their mobile devices and everything. So I think when you are on the junction, we only have one point. We need to go there, but we need to prepare. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is very, very insightful. Thank you, Pak Fadli. I mean, building on that in terms of the human capability, right? The TikTok generations, the millennials, they are coming into a workforce right now. But quite a lot of middle management or senior leadership is being done by the conventional, by the conventional workers, right? How do we bridge this? How do we actually being able to actually challenge that the new digital transformations is about building on new capabilities, right? Equipping the right talents, upskilling, reskilling, talents. How do we make sure that the whole journey visions is being translated, communicated, properly, right? For this process to go on sustainably. Anything you can add on to that or the other panels? Yeah.
Carlos.
Yeah. Yes, Pak Wisnu. Yes, Pak Wisnu.
I just want to enhance what Pak Fadli said or mentioned earlier. I just want to remind all audience in this forum that the government in Indonesia has a PD right now.
Sorry.
The wording is PD 4.0 is the one-stop solutions for the transformations of industry 4.0 Indonesia. It's not that PD built in 5 pillars. That is showcase centers. We hope with the showcase centers, we can demonstrations anything about the industrial technology 4.0 deployed in the manufacturing or the industry. We hope the conceptual design for the showcase that the initial stage was directed to the food and beverage industry as well as for the automotive industry.
Yeah.
Indonesia people need how to deploy industry 4.0 implementations in the manufacturing. And the second, don't forget, the PD have capability centers. We realize that based on your study with us, that 6 until 30 million jobs need to be reskilled. And PD has a responsibility to increase the competencies. We're using the approach by skilling, reskilling, even that upskilling. For your information, the governments under Ministry of Industry, especially BPSDMI, for every single years, we provide training based on competency program, around more or less 25,000 until 30,000 every year singles. And as you know, we have ecosystem for industry 4.0 and PD responsible to together the ecosystem. We have 26 partners currently. We have 25 industry and almost 4 university in Indonesia join with our ecosystem. I think I just want to remind for the audience and all speakers in here that Indonesia has PD to accelerate transformation digital in Indonesia. Back to you, Pak Carlos.
Thank you, Pak Wisnu. I think that's a very, very strong message, right? Because the PD will open up not only for showcasing, but also as a facility that can equip and and reskill the next future talents, right? In terms of successful transformations in Indonesia. Thank you so much, Pak Wisnu. I think this is what we have time so far. I would like to thank all the panel members. Thank you for your time, Pak Wisnu, Pak Asep, Pak Hedi, Pak Malaki, and also Pak Fadli. Thank you again for your great insights and also the key learning experience in terms of how making Indonesia progressive further for this industry. Over to you, Bella.
Thank you, Carlos, and all the distinguished panelists for the wonderful conversation. For all questions unanswered, please let us know and we shall post them to the respective speakers who will reply via email. And before we wrap up this session, we would appreciate your response to the feedback poll, which will be popping out on your screen right now. With that, we conclude the ITAP Indonesia Roadshow 2022. We hope today's session has been thought-provoking and meaningful. If you wish to know how you can learn and gain more insights, please join us at ITAP 2022 in Singapore from 18 to 20 October 2022. And lastly, please scan the QR code placed on the screen for registration to attend ITAP 2022. We look forward to hosting you in person. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Selamat sore. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.